It was in the second quarter. I think we were ahead by maybe a field goal at the time. Third down, I dropped back. Nobody was open, so I kind of broke through the line and went to scramble. A safety came up to make a play on me, and I just went to try to make a move on him. I tried to cut on my outside foot, and I just planted on my right foot, and I felt the pop, and I knew right away that something was really wrong.
ACL. 3 letters that no college football player ever wants to hear. One of the most common and most severe sports injuries, the ACL tear is caused by a sudden twisting motion at the knee. But don't take our word for it. Let's let a doctor handle this.
So you have 4 major ligaments in your knee. There's one on the inside, one on the outside, your MCL and LCL. Then you have 2 that cross in the middle, your ACL and your PCL. So the ACL usually is torn from a rotational component when the knee, the upper bone rotates on the lower bone. And what that does, that really contributes to the stability of your knee. So you could get back to walking around, doing activities of daily living, but to cut, pivot, change in direction, you need that ligament for the stability of the knee.
It was tough, and it's not an easy rehab when he comes back from that, but he did a great job, and I applaud him for that.
It can take anywhere from 7 to 9 months to recover from a torn ACL, and it's no cakewalk.
They go about a 3 to 4 week process of preparing their knee for surgery, reducing the swelling, restoring the range of motion, getting the knee back to what we call homeostasis, like kind of back to normal a little bit. And then they'll have the surgery. And the first 6 weeks really focuses on range of motion. We're trying to get the range of motion back.
Although the surgery is quick, typically 1.5 to 2 hours, that's just the beginning. Next is the recovery process.
I did all my rehab here at Richmond. The first thing is really the flexibility. There's not much strengthening stuff you can do right away, so really range of motion and all the treatments that they give you is to try to reduce the swelling and increase the range of motion. That's one of the more painful things when you do ACL rehab is bending your knee.
From the 6 to the 12-week mark, we're really working on strengthening, trying to get the quad, the hamstring, the calf, all the muscles surrounding the joint strong.
That's where head strength coach Scott Brinks comes in. Not only does he play a key role in rehabilitating players, he's also in charge of making sure injuries don't happen in the first place.
For the most part, I've had a great success in not having ACLs. Now, I cannot prevent an injury from happening, but I'll be able to cut that percentage down quite dramatically. A lot of that is learning your athlete and what their weaknesses are. And then you have to know how they move. Is their body more susceptible to that injury?
I think our training staff and our strength and conditioning staff, they do a great job. There are a lot of ways, to prevent ACLs, to prevent shoulders, whether how you strengthen it, how your balance is.
For example, we do a one-legged squat. And when their knee, from a simple aspect, when they sit down and their knee caves in, now you have an imbalance. So now you're more susceptible to an ACL because of how the knee is tracking. So the more you can correct those issues, the more you can do to stabilize those areas.
For all the physical hurdles that must be jumped during the rehab process, there are equal amounts of mental difficulties.
With Coach Brinks, I really think he just pushed me hard and really pushed my limits. There were certain things where I was like, I don't know if I would be able to do this now. And Brinks has said, you're good, you're completely fine.
He was in spring practice and he actually looked good, but he couldn't do anything. And a couple times in there, I said, Kyle, get in there and you throw this one, man. Don't come off the leg real hard, but just get in there, call the play, fling it out there. And I don't know if Chris Jones is still mad at me for that or not, but I thought psyche for Kyle, that would help him a little bit.
It takes a lot of patience, and I think I learned to be patient because I wanted to jump in, I wanted to do drop backs, I wanted to run, I wanted to do all these things, and Coach Brinks and Chris Jones, they really said, hey, you got to pump the brakes now, be patient, it'll come.
Between the hard work of the training, coaching, and strength staff, Kyle Lauletta was able to recover quickly and return to the field for his senior season.
Lauletta on the run. Oh, what a perfectly thrown pass.
Just having a great support system around you and knowing that, hey, I got a great team and all these teammates that believe in me and care about me. And, so whenever I had a hard day, whenever I was getting a little bit frustrated, I would just keep that in mind, keep the end goal in mind that I could play with them, and have one great last season.